am super ecstatic for today's video because I'm finally delivering on the highly requested handwriting tutorials part 2. The first version of this video is one of my most popular videos on this channel, which just blows my mind because my handwriting is nothing special. It's pretty simple, but apparently there were some really helpful tips in that video because I got lots of feedback and messages from those of you who used those tips and found it helped improve your handwriting, which I think is just fantastic. So today I'm just going to be sharing some styles that I've been gravitating towards recently for my spreads. Again, like the first video, these fonts or styles are nothing new. They're nothing too crazy. I like things simple so that I can, easily use these things in my everyday spreads. So with that being said, let's dive in. So I'm going to create a title for this page and I'm going to use one of my favorite techniques, which is going in with a Tombow. This is the color 772, one of my favorites. And then using a black micron pen in the color, or in the size 5, to write the title. I have been loving this pen. It's become a new favorite. I also really like the Pitt Artist pen in medium. The first style of writing that I like to use is much like what I did up here in the title page. It's a cursive writing, but what I like to do when I'm doing this type of writing is make things a little bit sharper, the lines sharper, not as curvy, if that makes sense. I keep my pen relatively straight and I tend to go fast so that I get sharp lines. We're gonna start off with the word pineapple. So as you can see, like here, specifically where I did the I and the N, things are very sharp. It's like boom, 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 boom. I'll do it again here with the word mouse. And again, I keep it kind of straight. This is also a technique I like to do. I extend the first line and the last line and I kind of pull them in opposite directions. And if you expand this, if you leave some space in between the words, you can actually get like a really nice header by just doing that. For example, you could do shopping list and I write shopping in that style, and then list in a little bit more of a simpler font. Hopefully that was somewhat clear. My cursive writing is far from perfect, but I do feel like I've kind of given it my own style now. Like I've figured out the look that I like. So my tip to you would be to just cursive write on like an entire page, one word or different words, and just find like a groove that works for you. The next technique I really like to use is brush lettering. And when I did my first video, I sucked at brush lettering. Sucked is a nice word. It was pretty pathetic and it's nowhere near perfect now, but it has gotten better since then. The pen I really love using and one I'd recommend for beginners is this Tombow calligraphy pen. I don't know the exact name because this is all in Japanese, but it will be linked down below. I'm gonna start off with one of my favorite words, which is coffee. Now, when you're brush lettering, something you need to keep in mind is that you want to keep your pen relatively on like I guess a 45-degree angle, whatever this angle is, you want it on an angle. The way you get that cool look is by changing the pressure of your pen. I'm sure you know this. What I do and what I think is pretty much standard is whenever you do a downstroke, you put a little bit more pressure so that line gets thicker. Up and pressure down. Up and pressure down. Me personally, I like to change up this style by changing the positioning of the letters. I just find like something like that is a little bit more interesting than keeping everything straight, but I definitely use both interchangeably. Again, to reiterate, every time you have a downstroke, add a little bit more pressure, and then when you go up, lighten the pressure, and then you will get that nice calligraphy look. As you can see, I still need to improve on my technique, and the only way you can really improve is to practice. Now I'm gonna go in with the more traditional Tombow and again, do some more brush lettering. I'm using the color 026. And then again, I'll go in with the word July. I'm gonna go back to cursive for this next font technique that I like to do. Unlike the first one where I like to keep the lines very sharp, this one, I really like to give in to all of the curves in the cursive writing. I keep the pen 90 degrees with the page, and then we go in. With the word chocolate, the H and the L and the O, wherever there's like a loop, I really like to exaggerate that. I'll go in again with the word sweet, add a few hearts. You can see this next style that I do is like writing on an angle. You could just freehand this, but if you want to make it a little bit more precise, the way I do it is I use the dots to kind of give me a reference. So I'm going to do the next letter, which is the letter L. I'll start off with the dot at the top, and then I will go down however many spaces I want the height of my letter to be, and I'll bloop, bring it over 1 dot to the left. Create a line and extend. And then we've got the E, same thing, ta-da. Another technique that I like to use is I'll just write a word out, say like the word pen. Very simple, nothing special. But then on some of the vertical lines, I'll just add like little tick marks. Ooh la la. So much fun. Here's another technique I've gravitated towards, writing things very, very, very small. So cute. I sometimes like to do box lettering, but with box lettering, you do have to be a little bit more precise. Like the way to get the good look of box letters is to keep everything evenly spaced. For example, I'm keeping the width of my letters the size of 1 block. You could just keep it like that, but I really like to put vertical lines through block letters. My vertical lines on that A were a little crooked, but that's A-okay. Sometimes I'll even go in for a bubble letter, but like the block letter, bubble letters take a lot of work, or at least for me they do. I just really try and keep things looking like they're the same width the whole way around. Oftentimes I fail at that. I do like to connect my bubble letters though, because I feel like it's a bit more forgiving. It could stay like this, but I'm gonna darken certain areas to give it a 3D look. A really popular technique, I feel like, for bullet journalers in general is to use a tombow, well, the end of the tombow, the fine tip of the tombow, to write out a word. So I'm just gonna write out the word month. And then I'm gonna go in with my micron pen, and over top of it, I'm gonna do it in cursive. I use the same handwriting technique from above, and yeah, just a really easy way to get a title or a header on your page. Another technique I like to do that I'm doing right now is to just write normally, but extend certain parts of the letter. And there you have it. These are all the new fonts I've incorporated into my journal since I did my last handwriting tutorial video. I hope you guys got something out of this video, maybe are inspired to just play around with different styles for your own bullet journal spreads. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. I will see you all very soon with a new video, and until then, bye everyone.
I wanna shout